right, y'all. Welcome to another episode of the Y'all Are Crazy Ranch podcast. Today, we have as our guest our ranch manager, Mr. John Wayne Manning. You know what, John? I got John Wayne on my coffee cup right there.
It's a good-looking coffee cup.
See that?
Yeah.
I mean, how cool is it to have a name like John Wayne and be a ranch manager? You know, I mean, it don't get better than that, does it?
No, it doesn't.
You know, I've told some people sometimes that your name John Wayne, and they're like, "Shut up, man! Are you serious?" And I'm like, "Dude, I'm serious as a heart attack."
Yeah.
And they're like, "That's like the most American, awesome thing I've ever heard of."
Yeah. We don't get to choose them.
You don't get to choose them.
We just have to try to live up to them.
Yeah. So you've been our ranch manager now for what?
A couple of years, 3 years, maybe going on 3 years.
Going on 3 years, and yeah. So we met about 3 years ago, and you actually, at the time we met, you were actually living on the ranch.
Yes.
You were living on the ranch, right?
Yes. So we lived here, I guess, from 2014 until when did you guys buy this? 18 or 19?
No, I think we bought it in 2022.
Okay.
Either 22 or 23.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we've owned it about 3 years now.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah. So from 2014 until that time, we lived here, raised our kids here on this ranch, or mostly. I mean, they were still young when we
That's
left.
true.
But, you know, most of their childhood was here. So.
You've got some good stories, too, of the kids.
Yeah.
You know, we're getting ready to have like a snowstorm, you know, well, supposedly. And didn't you have a kid slide off of a roof?
So my middle child, Evan, he...
and speak this one loudly because we got to hear it.
Yeah, we come home. I don't know. Carrie and I were somewhere. We get home and the gator is parked beside the house. So that was our first clue something was up. And then there's, slide marks off the roof. And we get in the house, and Evan's got a broke leg. So he's like, yeah.
I forgot about that.
We were on the roof. We jumped off. I fell in a hole. But the story was they took their new sleds they got and were sledding off the house. And anyways, it didn't work out real great, but it's a pretty good story. So.
And to be fair, this house has got like an add-on on the back.
Yeah.
And so... And it ties into the existing roof line. And so the roof line kind of comes down pretty low after the add-on. And, you know, the back of the house faces the north, and I'm sure that the snow was blowing in, and it kind of probably had a good amount of snow there.
Yeah.
So if I was a kid, I'd probably think the same way. It's not that far down, you know. But it's still, what, 7 foot maybe?
Oh, yeah, at least 7.
Yeah, at least 7 foot. So... It's further than it appears.
I guess the story was like they were just running around in the yard playing, and he fell in a hole and broke his leg. But the truth came out. They were sledding off the top of the house and landed wrong. And anyways, so.
But they didn't want you to know.
No, they were hiding that fact.
They were hiding it.
I mean, all the information was there once you started looking a little bit. The evidence was showing.
Yeah.
We were sliding off the house.
Yeah,
so.
That's the beauty about snow is it leaves tracks, and if you walk through it, you're gonna know when you see sled marks. You just follow where they came from.
Yeah.
But you know, I know when Ashley and I bought the ranch, you know, we had some cows at our last place, and we had 40 acres, and we had some longhorns, and we'd had some cows, and the place before that we'd had some goats, but I mean, truth be told, I mean, I didn't know a lot, right? I mean, I knew enough how to keep them alive, but past that, it was like, well, I don't know a lot, but you know, we got to meet you and Carrie, and you know, Ashley and I bought the place, and you guys moved out, and you know, we didn't know each other, and then you know, we brought our cows here, and it started off with this place here that was 240 acres. And I was like, you know, that wouldn't be bad. I can figure out how to handle that. I really couldn't, but that's what I was telling myself. And then I needed some concrete poured in one of the barns, and I remember reaching out to you because I knew you had done concrete, and you came in with the boys and poured the concrete, and then I had Evan working for me a little bit.
Yeah. So Evan started his after school and weekend job.
Yeah.
And
I don't remember what he was doing at the time,
I
but
think he cleaned up some yards, cut some tree limbs and stuff.
Okay.
Just stuff like that. And just
yeah. And I remember I was like, man, we need a ranch manager, And I think in that time, maybe we had bought another 160 acres that came up for sale and connected to the 240 acres. Now we had 400 acres, and I'm like, I can't manage all this stuff. And I remember asking Evan, like, what you were doing or something, and you were doing concrete, and I remember thinking, talking to Ashley, I was like, we need to try to recruit John Wayne. I was like, I don't know what that even means or what that even looks like, or even if we can afford it. I was like, I have no idea.
Right.
And I remember I was like, I think I prayed about it for a while, and then I was like, I'm going to make a bold action. And I remember I got you a gift bag. You remember this?
Yes. A couple of shirts.
I got some shirts made. So we got some denim shirts, kind of like this denim jacket. And they're Wrangler shirts, right?
Yeah.
Denim.
I got it on under here.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a pearl snap. Yeah. Yeah. And I was like, I'm going to get this thing branded, and I'm going to put ranch manager on one chest, and I'm going to put, like, here's the Yellow Crazy Ranch brand on the other chest, and write a note and have his son give it to him, and kind of like just assume he's going to be on our team one day, right? I'm giving him a title of ranch manager. I don't even know the guy. I don't even know you,
right.
And I'm like, we'll see what happens. I was all excited about it. I wrapped it up, put it in the deal, had Evan give it to him. A few days go by and crickets.
Yeah. I didn't have any response for a while. I don't even know how long, but it was a while.
I remember asking Evan, I said, did your dad get the gift?
Yeah.
He said, yeah, I gave it to him. I said, okay.
Yeah. I didn't even know how to think about that at the time, or,
yeah.
I was going kind of through a pretty good transition. We went from being ranchers and construction workers to kind of just trying to go just all out construction and manage, people and jobs and do the whole thing. And it was pretty tough. And then work gets slow. And so anyways, our path crossed again, and we got together on the deal. So
it did. Maybe about a month later.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I don't even know if you called me or if I followed up with you. I don't remember.
I think I called you and told you I was interested in the job and
Oh yeah. Yeah. So then we went and we had pizza.
Yeah.
We had me, and you and Ashley and Carrie. We just went, and because we still didn't even know each other.
Right.
And so we went and ate, and Ashley and I had wrote out like kind of a little bit of a vision of the ranch, at least our goals, and then just listed out a bunch of job duties that we could think of, And at that time, we had no experience with having a ranch manager or having a big ranch, or, so we did. I mean, we don't know, but we had a good conversation, and then. I don't know, about a week or so later, I guess we both parties agreed, and
yeah,
we came on board and been building ever since.
Yeah, and when we started, we were more of a conventional, feeding cattle and weed spraying and fertilizing, and
yes,
that's the background we came from, and so within 6 months to a year, we were down the regenerative path.
We were,
and
yeah,
a lot of changes, and it's hard to wrap your mind around at first, but it's all for the better, and it's really a good practice.
Yeah, because you had run this ranch for a decade or more,
right?
And actually, you have been on this ranch almost your entire life,
yeah,
on and off again. As a kid, you hauled hay here,
right? Yeah, so we've had I've been tied to this place for a long time for some reason. So
that's pretty wild when you think about it.
Yeah.
But when you were managing this place for somebody else and living here, that's right. You put down fertilizer.
Yes.
You sprayed it for weeds. You baled the hay off of it. You ran it that away. You fed cubes, I'm sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now we're kind of paying for it and trying to build out of that. But when you just take and take and take and don't put back, it takes a toll on a place, and our carrying capacity for cattle is way less than it should be at this time. But we have to start getting grasses and everything back working. Right now we're a broom sedge, and
yes.
I don't know if you know what broom sedge is.
It's a real high quality
It's
grass.
very high quality. Yes, very nice. But
It's not right.
It's
not.
just. I mean, there's just nothing eats it. I mean, it's a poor. That shows that your pastures are wore out and lacking.
Yes.
So when you take hay every year, twice a year, a lot of times, and just keep taking and don't put anything back, that's what you'll end up with. And so we're trying to rebuild and we rotationally graze now to try to make it better and give the ground a break and then, hit it pretty hard and get off of it. And we're starting to see things. I saw, 5 or 6 quail in a covey this year, and that's the first covey of quail I've seen on here for, I don't know, a long time.
Isn't that something?
We have turkeys. We have some deer. I'm seeing a lot of cottontail rabbits.
A lot of rabbits.
And that's been a thing that was missing. Turtles. I don't. Maybe it was just a good year for turtles, but I saw more turtles this year than I've seen in a long time too.
Yeah.
So, I think we're making some things, happen, and it's working out for the better, and it's just going to keep getting better. So.
Yeah, and what we've learned. I mean, how many books do you think we've read on regenerative ranching?
Oh.
But does it? I don't know.
8.
Yeah.
Probably because
Probably 8 to 10.
Yeah. So.
We've gone to a regenerative ranching school. We went to Greg Judy's school probably about 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
And we've just learned a lot about managing land and the importance of a healthy soil. And, when you spray things all the time, that those artificial chemicals end up killing the microbes in the soil and the soil life. And when you're taking the grass off the place and you're cutting it down and taking the hay, you're removing stuff off of the land, right? And instead of keeping stuff on the land and letting life take place. So you're actually killing life in a lot more ways than most people even realize. And, we've had a few years at this deal now, and now we're seeing the land start to heal. It ain't there yet. It takes a while.
Right.
But we're seeing improvement, and we're seeing this other wildlife come back. Me and you walked the ranch quite a bit, and even last year we were hearing quails whistle.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa, like you take that for granted. You don't hear that anymore. Now when you hear it, you're like, holy cow, they're back.
Yeah.
We're not killing everything they're trying to eat.
Yeah. Because all the herbicides and pesticides, they target certain things, but they're not. They don't discriminate. They kill all of it.
Yes.
The good ones and the bad ones. So, if you start, get away from that, there's a lot of good insects for every bad insect.
Yes.
And, if you have weeds, they're there for a reason, or forbs as we call them now. They're healing something. There's something missing, and whatever's lacking, they're trying to put it back, or just keep growing and get it better.
Yeah, because we've talked about this before. When you kill something in the cycle of life, it doesn't just kill that thing, because something else is living on that thing.
Right.
And it starts a chain reaction that a lot of people aren't aware of. And so the way we're ranching now is what's called regenerative ranching, and we're trying to heal the soil and work with nature and not against it. We're trying to grow animals and land and grass the way God intended, in our opinion, and not have any artificial outside stuff. We don't vaccinate our cattle willy-nilly. What I mean by that is, like, if they have a sickness or something like that and they need medication, by all means, we're going to save the animal.
Right.
But we don't just blanket worm everything and blanket vaccinate everything. We're trying to build resilient animals. We're trying to build a resilient ground and soil and grasses.
Yeah.
And I think it's going really well. We've got some good momentum. I think in 2 more years, we're going to see a pretty significant difference.
I'll say this about our journey so far. I mean, it's easy to get kind of discouraged, because the changes, you follow people and they're so good at it already and established. But what you don't realize is they're 30 years into the process.
Yes.
And we're 2 to 3 years in it, and we're just not there. And it's just, you're like, why is this not happening faster?
Yes.
But it didn't get this bad overnight. So it takes time to go back.
Yes, it does. And a lot of people can look at others that are successful and think that they can get there overnight or a short period of time, and it's that middle and that delayed gratification that a lot of people quit in the middle of because it takes too long and it's too hard, or
Right.
they don't have the patience. That's a real thing. So let me ask you this, John. When we first got to know each other and came on board, what made you take on the ranch manager job?
Well, ranching is something I've always loved. I mean, that's what I wanted to do from the time I was a little kid until now. I still want to do it. I don't know, necessarily why I took the manager job or whatever, but I just wanted to help and make it better, and I wanted a job, and I love ranching, so it works out good.
It does work out good.
So,
And really, we've talked about this before. There's not many ranch manager jobs around anymore.
not in this area for sure.
Not around here.
A lot of that's in cattle country, big open sky country and all that. There's some ranch managers positions, but
Yeah, maybe they got like thousands of cows or
Yeah,
something like
right.
that.
right,
Yeah. So that's true. But what are some of I know when we were talking and you were coming on board, you had done a lot of different jobs in the past.
oh yeah,
And we've talked about this before about young kids maybe doing tough jobs, or as what's that guy? He's got that show called like Dirty Jobs.
dirty jobs.
What's
yeah.
his name?
What's his name?
What's his name?
I don't know.
I don't know, but I like that guy.
Yeah,
But he's talking about dirty jobs.
Mike Rowe or something.
Mike Rowe,
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah, he's awesome. But you done any dirty jobs?
No, not me. White collar all the way.
Oh yeah, sure. What are some of the things you did growing up?
Well,
To this stage.
let's starting out in childhood. So my grandfather was a truck patch farmer.
Okay.
So we raised vegetables, watermelons, cantaloupes, tomatoes, squash, okra, everything. And so there was a lot of days in the fields picking,
Yes.
And you learn how to handle produce, fresh produce, and keep it from bruising and getting all tore up. Looking back, that was an all right job, but I hated it when I was a child.
Did you ever eat the product?
All of it.
Did he ever get mad at you for eating the product?
You're eating up all the profit. So I guess
Eating the profit,
yeah,
literally.
So I guess that's but so then also we were involved with ranching and making hay, custom hay baling, custom hay hauling. Back then there was a lot of square bales. We hauled, our goal every day was to haul 1,000 square bales a day during hay season.
Daggum.
And you still had daylight after that, but if you stopped at 1,000, you could come back tomorrow, and you could do it every day. So we had days where we hauled 2,000 bales, but we didn't work again for 3 or 4 days on that.
Man.
So that if they were available to haul, and if there was 5,000 bales laying in the field, we hauled 1,000 a day, and that way you didn't get wore out too bad. You could go home, rest, come back tomorrow, and do it again.
Shoot.
So after that, I got in the concrete business.
Yes.
I wasn't in business. I worked for a concrete business.
Okay.
So we poured a lot of concrete and a lot of long days, early mornings and late evenings and cold days and days you couldn't work. So it's either all those jobs I just described are all famine or feast.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
it's good while it's good.
Yeah, and it's bad when it's bad.
Yeah.
And
Not consistent.
no, not at all. And so I don't know from there. Let's see. Just ranch jobs, construction jobs, bounce back and forth. Whatever one's going, basically wherever you could do to provide food for your family is where you went and what
Yeah.
you did. So that's, people say, how do you know how to do so much, stuff? I said, well, necessity. I mean, I had to keep eating. So,
You did.
So you just learn how to do different things and pay attention and learn from good people, and it all works out.
And you've lived in Chandler your whole life.
Yes.
And we talked about this too, is like you could have taken a job in the city,
Oh yeah.
or you could have taken a job in the oil field and traveled, other states, or,
Right.
but it was important for you to be home,
Yeah.
right?
So I've always worked in Chandler or around Chandler, within a 30-minute drive of Chandler, like doing concrete and stuff. We didn't ever go over an hour away from home. But it was important to me, like you said. I wanted to be home every night. Well, I mean, there was occasional, but I didn't want to be on the road. I didn't care to chase oil field money and make a lot of money for 3 months and sit on your butt for 6 months.
Right.
Or just stuff like that. I didn't ever chase the big fast dollars, and so it's always just been kind of stay going, stay moving, grind it out.
Learn different things.
Whatever,
whatever's paying at the time.
Right.
Because you can run heavy equipment.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You're actually a really good heavy equipment operator.
Yeah, I've operated equipment quite a while, and
dozers, excavators,
yes,
backhoes, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Whatever, skid steers.
Yeah.
Tractors,
mulchers, grinders. Man, a lot of that stuff, and I didn't even bring that up in my job. Stuff I've done before, but yeah, heavy equipment operator has been a big part of my life. So
yeah. Well, I wanted to bring that up, okay, for you people watching, especially maybe the younger people watching, because I think in your late teens, 20s, it's important to go do those tough jobs, those jobs that nobody wants to do. It's also important for you to learn as much as you can, okay, because in life, a lot of the books we read and the things that we teach is like, you don't get paid by the hour. Okay, you might get paid by the hour, but hear me out on this. You get paid by the value you bring to that hour.
Right.
The more skills you have, the more value you bring, the more the marketplace will reward you for that value, right? When we decided to bring you on board, right? I remember thinking like it was going to take a little more money to bring you on board than what I had thought, right?
Right.
But your work history has the value. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. This guy knows construction. He knows cows. He knows heavy equipment operating. You know everybody in town.
Right.
You're like a valuable Rolodex.
And we've done all that stuff since I've been here.
We have.
We've ran equipment. We've worked cattle.
Yeah.
We've, done some house remodels and a little bit of everything. I think that's what it takes to stay going, is just don't be scared to try anything and just learn what you can, why you can. And like he's talking about working hard while you're young.
Yes.
I mean, there's a lot of advantages to being young and working because you don't need as much sleep. Your body recovers way faster than it does when you're 45 or 50. And
amen to that.
So, I mean, most of the time, young people are going to stay up and play on their phone anyway. They might as well be working. So
they might as well
find something to do. But
yeah. And so I would encourage you guys to learn as many skills as possible. And what that might look like is you might be having a job where you're doing concrete, but outside of those working hours, you might be watching your phone in today's world and learning other trades and other skills. Or you might be reading books. You might be going to college if that's what you want to do. But stay in a mode of being hungry and learning and growing your skill set, because the marketplace will always reward you for your skill set and the value that you bring. And you have brought a lot of value, and we've been able to remodel houses.
Yep.
And, you might not know how to do everything perfect,
Yep.
but you know how to do everything,
Yep.
right? And you know enough that we can hire somebody else to come do something, and you know whether or not that's getting done right.
Right. Yeah.
And that's super valuable.
Yeah. Been around a lot of different moving parts and pieces, and you just
Yes.
pick up and learn. And I think, like you touched on there, like learning stuff. If you're in a young person and you're pouring concrete, when you go home and scroll your phone and watch videos tonight, let's watch a few on how to pour concrete, because the way I did concrete, I guarantee you, was the hardest way it was ever established to pour concrete. Like, from squaring up to the finished product, whatever. And as I got further in my career as pouring concrete, I learned different steps and techniques. And there's people out there that know how to do stuff a lot easier that end up with the same good quality result at the end.
Yes.
So don't be scared to try something a different way just because that's the way you've always done it. It doesn't matter. There's people that can do things better. Not always, but be open-minded to that.
So be constantly curious.
Yeah.
Constantly curious, constantly learning. But you never knew that the stuff you were doing in the moment that wasn't fun and all that, you never knew that would pay you dividends later in life. But what we're trying to teach you today is that is 100% true. When we're trying to build a ranch, and the ranch makes a ton of money, doesn't it, John?
Oh yeah, yeah. So
it makes $0. It actually loses lots of dollars. But one day it will make some money. But we've been able to buy houses and remodel them and make money that way while building a ranch. And because he knows how to do all that stuff, it makes sense. And we can at the end of the day make the venture make sense financially. And so I would just encourage you to always be growing your skill set, whether it's construction, ranching, business, whatever it is, and never quit learning and try to become more and more valuable, because those skills just come up later in life and you know how to do things. And man, even if it's for your own self, right?
Yeah.
You buy a house one day and you need to fix something, you know how to fix it.
Yeah.
I know you're telling your boys that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Well, heck, you built your own house.
Yeah. They had a help too.
Yeah. That always helped you. So,
well,
yeah.
I'll touch on doing the hard jobs and the jobs that aren't fun and this and that. And, it's in your mind, go to work and make it fun.
Yes.
If you can enjoy yourself while you're out pouring concrete, you can enjoy yourself doing anything.
Yes.
I mean, sure, the work's hard, but the reward, when you go home with a paycheck and you can buy groceries and play whatever you want to play or whatever, whatever you want to do with your money, you have money. But yeah, just work hard at it, but make it fun. I mean, just get it in your mind that it's going to be hard today, but it's going to be a good day.
There's a lot of power to that.
So.
Here lately we've been cutting cedar trees every Friday for an hour, and most people would say that sounds like not fun.
It's pretty fun.
But we kind of made a joke out of it and a fun. We call it cowboy cardio, and we go out there and work as hard as we can for an hour, cutting as many trees as we can, and then we get off and go. But we have a positive mindset going into it. We know it has to be done. We know the effect of cleaning up the land and killing those dang things, and but it's not a fun job. But you got to make it fun, and how you think about things between your ears is a big deal.
Oh yeah, and getting involved and getting other people involved in it, and we go cut cedars. Bronson's 2 or 3 of his boys will come with us, and they play in the trees. They'll drag a little brush or cut little trees down or whatever they can do, but they're out there, and that's pretty valuable.
Yes. They're seeing us work.
Oh yeah, it's good for them. It's good for us.
They know we actually work.
Yeah, that's right. Don't just tell them about it. So
what's an average day in the life of a ranch manager?
Well, when you're by yourself, it's a pretty good day. No, I'm just playing. That's a joke. So we, right now it's wintertime, so of course the first thing on my mind every day is the livestock.
Yes.
Get out, get them took care of, make sure everybody's where they're supposed to be, and they're healthy.
Yes.
They got water, food, whatever they need. Just make sure they're tended to. And then we have several projects that my boys are working here and building some pipe fence, and so get the cows took care of, go check on the guys and make sure that what they need or want or everything's going okay, and just keep moving and going in a direction of getting, try to make stuff happen. And every day is different. I mean, I start out some days with a really good plan, and there's some days that I don't get hardly any of that done.
Right.
But I get something done, but it may not be what I had planned that day.
Yes.
And so you got to be, I don't know.
Adaptable.
Adaptable. Yeah. So,
adaptable.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. You might look at I know a couple weeks back you looked at the sheep and went, we might need to worm some of them things.
Yeah. So we got them up. And
that wasn't on the list.
No.
But you had to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's one of the biggest thing I think with the livestock part of it is, when you see one that you think needs something, just get it up and do it that day, because tomorrow makes a big difference for them. It's just like us when we get sick. The sooner we get healed or take the steps to make ourselves better, the better we have a chance of getting over everything and recovering.
Right.
And so livestock's the same way, and they can't speak to you, but if you'll pay a little bit of attention, they'll show you.
They'll show you.
They don't feel good. Their ears are drooping. They're, misdemeanor. Their demeanor is just off. So.
Yeah, we've talked about this before, but I think another one of the benefits of regenerative ranching and doing the rotational grazing, as some of y'all might have heard of, is you're always, every day you're with the animals.
Yes.
So you're keeping an eye on them.
Yeah. So that's one of the biggest things I have. When we started talking about regenerative ranching and going this direction, all the feedback we got from locally around people we knew, ranchers around here, was, takes too much time, it's too long, But as a rancher, I mean, we should be out with our animals.
Right.
At least, daily.
Yes.
Every day check in on them. And I don't know if you're a rancher why you wouldn't want to do that part. Now, I know some people have, they're ranchers part-time after work.
Right.
So, yeah, it's kind of, it's your second job. So, it may be dark when you go out, but just use a brighter light.
That's right. Use a brighter light.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of benefit to being out there in the spring and summertime, before it gets like winter.
Yes.
We're out there walking around with them, and you might be moving them 2-3 times a day.
Right.
And when you're moving them, you're walking amongst them.
Oh, yeah.
You can see their feet. You can see their, their backside. You can see the front side, and you're able to see the health of the animal. And you might be like, hey, we might need to move these animals a little faster. It might be too slow, or hey, we might need to slow them down. But you're able to do it. There's a lot of intentionality and a lot of good things that come out of ranching this way.
Yeah, and like you said, we're out there walking around these cows, and they're gentle. I mean, and these aren't like, I don't know, they're not milk cows by no means. These are longhorn cows. Some of them got 10 foot of horn on them.
Yeah.
If they swing their head and hit you, it's not going to hurt them.
Right.
I mean, they're gentle. I mean, it's amazing how much your stock will gentle down and just being around them like that, and you can handle them and drive them to the lot, or what if you need to catch one, it's not a big deal.
Yes.
You don't have to. I used to catch a lot of wild cows. Help catch a lot of wild cows. We go out and rope them and drag them and tie them down, whatever you had to do to get them caught. And I mean, when you start this road, when you open the gate, they're going.
Yes.
And if you open the gate to the corral, they're going in the corral. They don't care where they're going. They know they're going to get some treat when they get there.
Yes.
So it's the gentling part of it is really good.
I think it's a big deal. And so I think for you guys also to know too, kind of why I wanted to also bring him on is you guys get to meet the ranch manager and know that when you buy beef or lamb or goat from our ranch, like now you get a little inside track about how the animals are cared for, the level of care that they have.
Right.
And, was it Will Harris that said that the animals on his ranch have the best life they could ever have, and then they have one bad day?
One bad moment.
One bad moment,
Yeah.
when their life is no more.
Yeah.
But other than that, they live the best life possible. And I'd like to think that we try to help our animals live the best life possible. And then I believe that leads to a better, more nutritious product for you guys, when it comes to feeding your family. I think there's a lot to that. And that makes that meat very valuable.
Yeah, and it's not just it's not just something we believe. It's something that's being proven.
Right.
Phytonutrients is a huge thing now, and they're actually testing food to see how nutrient dense it is.
Yes.
So if you start seeing these regenerative labels on food, you should know it's good food. Like
yes,
the organic deal. I mean, I'm not against organic food, but there's so many rules and regulations and things with the organic deal that it could be labeled organic and not really be organic. So
right.
You need to watch that. But
yes,
I'm not trying to start any fights with organic people. So.
But that is true though, and they even say some too by having a gentler animal. When it comes time for their life to end.
Yeah.
Not releasing that animal not getting super stressed and releasing a bunch of hormones and adrenaline and whatever else goes off before they die.
Right.
That if they say sometimes that affects the meat as well.
Yes.
So our animals, when they go into the butcher, I mean, they're calm.
Yeah.
There's because they're used to being handled. They're used to humans. You're not taking something that ain't seen a human in a long time outside of a pickup truck. Right. And then they're bucking and going crazy. And, when I worked at the butcher shop, I'd see that. They bring these cows in, they are going nuts.
Oh, yeah.
And, sometimes that leads to that meat being not as good as it could be.
Yeah, I think the only way they could be any more quiet about, getting harvested would be
Right.
to kill them in the pasture.
Right.
That'd be while they're eating, just shoot them, and that you don't.
If they weren't so dang heavy, that'd be a pretty good idea.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. I think it was cool having Mr. John Wayne on the show, and y'all be seeing some more John Wayne. He loves podcasting.
It's
he
great.
loves podcasting, but thanks for the support, and until next time.
That's right.
Till next time.